Aloha, my name is Tyler Mongan. I'm the founder of Yoga Numbers and also the author of Yoga Numbers book and a book called Lokahi Numerology. And in this video, I want to share a little bit about Yoga Numbers and how this numerology system can help you in your life. So when I first learned about this numerology system, I was very skeptical of it. Even if it could provide some interesting truths about my life, could it really provide some value? Maybe some ways I could take action, find a better purpose and meaning in life? How could it really help me? Well, I was in medical school when I first learned about the numerology system. And I started practicing it and learning more and diving deeper into it. And then about halfway through medical school, a little bit more, I got this feeling that maybe I should not become a doctor. And that was something that I had spent 9 years of my life working towards. I had gone to pre-med, I did biomedical research, I applied for medical schools, I got in, I was in medical school, I was in past my second year, and all of a sudden I started to think, maybe I'm not supposed to become a doctor. And just before I decided to quit, the first thing I did was I decided to take a trip to Hawaii and go to paradise, because why not? I was already burnt out a little bit from medical school. I needed a vacation. So I flew to Hawaii, had some really interesting experiences in Hawaii, and later on moved there, of course, but came back from Hawaii to medical school. And I realized I'm not going to become a doctor. I'm going to drop out of medical school. And I was very confused at that time because that was a very tough decision. But I was learning numerology. So I looked at the numerology and I said, what can the numerology tell me about what's going on in my life right now? And when I looked at the numbers, I was in a 9 year. So 9 years. If you study the system, you'll find out 9 years are personal cycle years where we are really feeling like we need to let go of things. Well, we want to let go of things that are no longer serving us for the future. Maybe it's past ideas. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe it's jobs. Maybe it's education. Maybe it's future goals. And so I was in this phase of letting go. And one of the things I needed to let go of was this idea of becoming a doctor. And it was a hard decision to make. But when I looked at the numbers and realized that this was aligned with what's going on in my life right now, it made the decision a lot easier. Also, looking at my numbers, I realized that maybe being a doctor is not the best thing for me. There's other ways in which I can help people heal. And really my gift and talent is that of the teacher. And so I wanted to align more with the ability to teach things. And so the numbers really helped me to understand a certain time in my life where I was making a big decision and I didn't know if it was the right decision or not. Numerology helped me to see that it was the right decision. Now, in general, when I think of the numerology system, the yoga numbers, I think of it helping us in three very specific ways. The first way is it helps us to identify the patterns in our life. We start to see this through the numbers. There's certain patterns that are going to repeat over time. These patterns have meaning, and we can understand the patterns. We can decide which patterns are good and helpful and benefit to us, and which ones are negative, and we can look at stopping those negative patterns in our life. The second thing that the numerology can do is it helps us to really focus our mind. There's so many things that we can do with our life. We can think about past, present, or future, and it can really be distracting and confusing. So the numbers allow us to see where we can focus. If we just say, hey, look, these are the numbers in my chart. Why not just focus on these numbers and build my life around that and see what happens, right? It takes away a lot of distractions, gives us more clarity. And when we do that, we start to see some amazing results in our life and a lot of positive improvements. And the final thing, the third thing that the numerology does is it tells a good story. So for me, at least, one of my favorite stories is a fiction story. It's not true at all. It's a story of a mouse that becomes an eagle. And we all know that it's impossible for mice to become eagles, but this story has a lot of meaning, a lot of power, and a lot of value in it. So numerology provides a good story. And when we understand the story of our life, then we can understand where we're at in the story and how we should be acting, what types of situations might show up, how we should respond to those situations in the story. And also with a good story, there's always going to be downs and ups, right? So it's not just that life is always great. Sometimes life is challenging because those challenges are what make the story interesting. I mean, imagine watching the ending of every great romantic love movie where at the end, the guy gets the girl, right? Or the girl gets the guy. And that's the ending. And that always happens every time at the end of those movies. But if you watch just the ending of those movies over and over again, it would get really boring. So, what makes a story interesting is how we got to the end. So, with our own life, the numerology is going to show us how our life changes over time and how we can align with that change and make life more fulfilling, more enjoyable. But also, so as we align with that change over time, we easily and gracefully flow to our purpose. And we can find our purpose and fulfill that and also serve others. So, this numerology system can add a lot of value to your life. It'll help you to see your own patterns, the good and the bad, and do something about that. It'll help you to focus your mind. And it'll also help to tell a good story, a great story of your life that you can live so that by the end of your life, you have a very happy ending. So I look forward to seeing you in one of the numerology classes. Aloha.